Welcome back, Nightmarish fans, to another installment of Nightmarish Fables. Hope it doesn't scare you too much. The dog, or if you want to be more technically scientific, Canis lupus familiaris. It is derived from an ancient extinct wolf, but the closest relative it has today is the gray wolf, which is found in North America and Eurasia. There are over 360 dog breeds, and some they don't mention because of the type of breed they are, like the rough-coated Belgian Licanois, one of 4 dogs native to Belgium, the Licanois being the rarest, or the Cernico dell'Etna, an Italian breed of Sicily that is used for hunting. From the Chihuahua to the English Mastiff, the dog is man's best friend. Dogs are highly intelligent, trainable, from being used as police dogs to catch criminals, to tracking and hunting in the woods, being a service animal, to being an emotional support for people who struggle with anxiety, or just being a member of the family. But as nice as that may sound, there are other entities that likes to use its appearance. The black dog myths. The black dog is a manifestation of an unearthly demonic being from English folklore, with a reddish or yellowish glow to its eyes, and some with an irregular body shape. While most are considered sinister, a very few are benevolent. The Black Shuck, sometimes known as Old Shuck, it roams East Angles, now better known as the Kingdom of the East Angles, which is located in the east of England. This beast walks along the coastlines and countryside. This ghostly dog could be a blessing or an omen of death. Its howl can make your blood run cold, or maybe fiery red eye might accomplish that. The first time this apparition was mentioned, it was in a book, Reverend E.S. Taylor. The book is called Notes and Queries, which describes it as a black shaggy dog with fiery eyes and of immense size, which only visits churchyards at midnight. The Black Shuck has been seen in various shapes and sizes, from a large dog to the size of a calf or horse. It prowls through paths in the fields to lonely dark lanes. If you see it, it could be your doom by the end of the year. So close your eyes if you ever hear it. You never know if it's just an ordinary howl or the shuck. Made du. Manx Gaelic for black dog. This is a black hound in the Manx folklore. According to popular belief, it hunts Peel Castle, which is located on the west side of Isle of Man. Isle of Man. This island is named after Manannán, a Celtic sea god. This island is located in the middle of northern Irish Sea, almost equidistant from England. To the east, this island is home to 83,314 people. The locals speak Manx, spelled M-A-N-X. This language is also known as Manx Gaelic, and historically spelled M-A-N-K S. It's a Gaelic language of the insular Celtic branch of Celtic language family, which is also a branch of Indo-European language family. An influential 18th century English-speaking folklore source led to Mondly being misspelled throughout history. In this particular legend, a topograph and poet by the name of George Waldron looks to be sole writer of the folklore found in the castle. George Waldron is also the originator of the word Mouf Doog. This is what he wrote, and I quote, "They say that an apparition called in their language the Mouf Doog, the shape of a large black spaniel with curled shaggy hair, was used to hunt Peel Castle and has been frequently seen in every room, but particularly in the court chambers. As soon as candles were lit, it came and lay down before the fire in presence of all the soldiers who at length were accustomed to the sight of it. They lost a large part of the terror they had." End quote. At the time, there was a connected passage from the apartment of the captain of the guard to the church grounds to Peel Castle. The Monday Dew was always seen on this passage, way in the evening and in the twilight before the dawn of morning. As Waldron reported, one of the guards went against protocol of locking up the castle's gate in pairs. He did it on his own, without help. He was drunk. He took the keys, although it wasn't his night to lock the gate, and really didn't believe the story anyway of this ghostly apparition. After locking up, he was supposed to walk along the passage to drop the keys off with the captain, but instead heard noises. This guard came back to the guard room. He couldn't even talk or say what happened to him. He died 3 days later. The passageway was sealed permanently, but another one was constructed in its place. This was the last sighting of the Mouf Dog. This apparition would be known throughout the world by a Scottish historical novelist, poet, historian, and playwright, Sir Walter Scott, but he changed the story by scaling up the size of the dog to suit his scheme, making the dog a large, shaggy mastiff, much more threatening than a small spaniel dog. A Manx scholar, folklorist, and poet named William Walter Gill has maintained some of the local lore in respect to the Mondly Dew appearing around the island, and eyewitnesses' accounts. A field called Robin of the Road, or Robin Y Gate, or Ye Gate, was being haunted by the black dog. There was another place called Bolligibert Glen, or Kinley's Glen. A farmhouse stood on the east side, and on the road leading to it, a headless Molly Dew laid in wait. Another sighting Gill reported on was an area called Millentown Corner, close to Ramsey. In 1927, a friend of his saw this apparition turning into Glen Alden. He mentioned it had eyes like coals of fire and long shaggy hair. Yet another sighting was further out from the last sighting. This was seen by a doctor driving his car in 1931. He described the beast as a dog-like creature, nearly the size of a calf, with bright eyes staring at him in his car. The Burgist. This is an even scarier black dog myth. This is a folklore of northern England. especially Yorkshire. It has several other names within that region. Its name can be the combination of town ghost or German for mountain ghost or spirit of the funeral bier. In a book written by William Holmes called Everyday Book, published in 1830, recounts a narrative of a man who goes out to, quote, the horrid gill of the limestone hill. He went there to confront this beast with a ritual magic to draw it out of hiding. The man's body was said to have the claw markings of the black dog. There is another story where the Burghyst enters the city of York on occasion, and as the tale goes, it preys upon lonely travelers in the narrow, dark alleyways. In the 1870s, there was said to be a Burghyst that would shapeshift near Darlington. It would look like a headless man or woman. It would vanish into white flames or turn into a feline. This beast will serve as an omen of death. If anyone well known would die, the Burghyst may appear with a slew of other canines. From the local areas, they would bark and howl as a form of last honors. Since this dog-like creature is known to attack unwary travelers, it is said if attacked by this demon, this unsuspecting person will have wounds that will never heal. What is also scary about this legend, it is said to walk alone on the path without being seen. All you would hear to even suspect the dog is near is the rattling chains, letting you know it's nearby. It also lays across the doorway of a person's home who will unknowingly pass away.